Alright, this is Chapter 7, Lesson 3, Triangles. So up until this point, we've just talked about angles. So we talked about acute, obtuse, right, straight angles, as well as supplementary and complementary angles. So now we're actually going to talk about triangles. So angles actually form when three sides form together, and three angles, we get a triangle. So we can classify triangles in 6 different ways. So we can classify them as isosceles, scalene, or equilateral, and then as acute, obtuse, or right triangles. So let's go ahead and take a look at triangles. So the first thing that I have is actually this diagram right here. So this diagram shows several different triangles. So in my first one, right up here, this is a scalene triangle. Okay, scalene triangles have no sides the same. Okay, so scalene triangles have no sides that are the same. The next one I'm going to talk about is an isosceles triangle. Okay, isosceles triangles have 2 sides the same. Okay. So isosceles have 2 sides the same, and then the last type of triangle is an equilateral triangle. And equilateral triangles have all sides the same. Okay. So scalene has no sides the same, isosceles has 2 sides that are the same, and equilateral triangles have all 3 sides that are equal. Okay. So we can classify triangles by sides. We can also classify them by angles. Okay, so when we're doing that, the first one we can have is an acute triangle. So what this means, an acute triangle means that we have sides that are acute. So all the triangles, all the angles are acute angles. And we know that acute angles are smaller than 90 degrees. So all these triangles have are angles that are smaller than 90 degrees. There can't be any angle that's larger than that. Okay? For the next one, we can have a right triangle. So that means one angle is exactly 90 degrees. Okay, one angle has to be exactly 90 degrees. You can't have more than one right angle in a triangle, otherwise you get a square or a rectangle, okay, or another sort of polygon. But you can only have one angle be a right angle in a triangle. Okay, and then the last one is an obtuse triangle. So just like an acute triangle has to have all angles that are acute, an obtuse triangle has one angle that is obtuse. Okay, so that means greater than 90 degrees. Okay, so one angle that is greater than 90 degrees is an obtuse angle. Okay, so a lot of times you'll see these actually paired with different things. Usually an equilateral is an acute triangle because all the sides and all the angles are the same. Okay, they're acute. Usually an isosceles triangle is paired with right and a scalene is paired with obtuse. This is not always true. It's not always the case. Okay, it's just normally that's what they're paired with. A blank is a figure with 3 sides and 3 angles. The symbol for a triangle is the little triangle shape. So in that blank, you're going to write triangle. So a triangle is a figure with 3 sides and 3 angles. Every triangle has at least 2 acute angles. One way you can classify a triangle is by using the third angle. Another way to classify the triangle is by their sides. Sides with the same length are called congruent sides. Okay, so sides with the same length are congruent sides. All right. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is actually drawing triangles. So I want to draw a triangle with one obtuse angle and no congruent sides. Then I want to classify the triangle. So the first thing I want to do, it says obtuse angle, so I'm going to draw that first. So an obtuse angle is any angle that's bigger than 90 degrees. So it doesn't have to look like this, okay? And you want to make sure that no sides, it has no congruent sides, so none of the sides are equal. So I'm going to draw different lengths for my sides, okay? And then I'm going to draw one line that connects that angle together. So the triangle is an obtuse, a scalene, obtuse triangle. Okay, so what that means is it is a scalene triangle. It has no sides the same, and it's an obtuse triangle because it has one obtuse angle. All right, there's a try problem on this page. I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try it out, and when you're done, we'll go over the answer together. All right, now that you've had a chance to try out the try problem, let's go over the answer together. So the try problem says, draw a triangle with one right angle and two congruent sides, then classify the triangle. So the first thing I want to do is actually draw this right angle. So there's my right angle, okay? And then I'm going to make sure that my sides are congruent. So this side's going to be congruent to this side, okay? And I'm going to draw another line that connects these two. So this is a right triangle, and it has two sides congruent, which means it's a isosceles triangle. So this is a right isosceles. So right isosceles triangle. All right, on the next page, we continue to talk a little bit more about triangles. So basically, there's a couple of things that we know about triangles in particular when it comes to the measurement of their angles. So we know that they always have at least two acute angles, okay? And then they either have an additional acute angle, an obtuse angle, or a right triangle, and that's how we actually classify them. Okay, but we also know that when I add all the angles up on the inside of a triangle, they add up to be 180 degrees. Okay, so it's really important that you know that, because this will actually help us with the next part of this chapter. So you can write and solve equations to find missing angle measures of triangles. So for example, if I want to find measure, that's what the M means, measure of angle Z. So I've been given 119 degrees for V and 43 degrees for X. I know first off that this is going to be an obtuse triangle, because it has one obtuse angle. 119 is bigger than 90 degrees. Okay, so I know that Z is going to be an acute angle because I have to have two acute angles in every triangle. So when I add these together, the measure of angle Z plus 43 plus 119 equals 180. So I add 43 and 119 together, I get 162. And then I subtract 162 from both sides. 180 minus 162 is 18, so Z, the measure of angle Z, is 18 degrees. So you can see here in the picture, measure of angle 1A plus B plus C equals 180 degrees. All right, there's a try problem on this page, so I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try it out, and when you're done, we'll go over the answer together. All right, now that you've had a chance to try out the try problem, let's go over the answer together. So this try problem is talking about triangle ABC. If measure of angle A is 25 degrees and measure of angle B is 108 degrees, what is the measure of angle C? So I can draw this triangle if I want to, or I can remember that adding all these angles up, I get 180 degrees. So measure of angle A is 25, so 25 plus 108 plus the measure of angle C equals 180. Then I can add 108 plus 25. 8 plus 5 is 13. 2 and 1 is 3, so 133. So I have 133 plus C equals 180. Okay. Then this is a one-step equation, so I'm going to subtract 133 from both sides. Okay. When I do this, 10 minus 3 is 7, 7 minus 3 is 4, so I get 47 degrees. So C the measure of angle C is 47 degrees. And that is the end of Chapter 7, Lesson 3.